of your adversity and you tell God, it's all I can do is just bring it to you. If you don't fix it, it can't be fixed. You tell God, I am your representative in the earth. I am your child. I am your ambassador. If I go down, you go down. If I look bad, you look bad. But I'm calling on you because you're my strength. You're my deliverer. You're my strong tower. You're my bridge over troubled water. You're my way out. I can call him when I need him. Call him in the midnight hour. Call him. He'll be there. He'll be there. And turn into advantages. But I want you to see in this song that free grace has placed itself under bondage. God made a promise, and because he made a promise, he said, when you call me, I'll be there. I'm in a covenant with you. You made a covenant with me. I promise you that I will not leave you, neither will I forsake you. And I won't turn my back on you. You got to tell that lying demon when he tells you that you're out here by yourself. You tell that demon, I'm not alone. Why don't you grab somebody and say, you are not alone. They'll say, you are not in this thing alone. God is right there. He was there all the time. God is our refuge. God is our help. Right there, his grace is sufficient to keep you from falling. Rest in the Lord. Rely upon him. Trust in the Lord with all of your might. And lean not to your own understanding. In all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. He will make a way out of no way. He will lift the burden. He will light the road. He will work it out. Say yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Woo, Jesus. Hallelujah. Ooh, That's why I picked those kind of prayers. I need it. You need it. We need it. Such an anointing on that prayer right there. I want to thank God for that man and all the rest of the bishops and the preachers that's really about Jesus' work. And it's not no grandstand. That is the Holy Ghost. Ooh, Jesus. Powerful. Show transfer to me. All right. I got to get it together. Ooh, I touch and agree in the name of Jesus. That prayer was powerful. When I look for prayers that God want to send forth that's already been prayed in the atmosphere, but he want to send it forth back to the people. I really pray to find those kind of prayers, and I don't want to run out. So y'all keep bringing it, because I need the prayers. We all need the prayers. That'll give you a fresh anointing right there. So today, Fushi ladies, and hello Facebook and YouTube. I am so proud to bring back and welcome back my sister, Denise Woods is in the house. Hey, D.
Hey. Hi. It's Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday. It's Thursday,
Yeah.
Denise. I am so blessed to have you. And when I asked you and you said, yeah, sure, I'll come and talk to the people. I want to know what's on your mind. We need to hear from you.
Um, okay. Well, what you want to talk about? We got this well, today's June 2nd. We got 5 days before the primary vote
We got
for
5.
LA anyway.
Oh, I
Yeah.
got to I got to tell you, right, we're on the air. Um it was a surprise guest. It's supposed to be Joe Collins the third. I know
Ah,
your, your
okay.
boy, your boy, your boy, our boy. Well,
Hey,
family member,
okay.
but our boy. I'm not politicking. That's my family, and I love my family. But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, you know, uh, he was surprised. He's gonna be a surprise. Hopefully, he gonna chime in a minute. But
Okay.
I really want to talk about, first of all, our homeless fight out here in LA, the homeless situation. And it's important because election time is here, and we need to discuss some things so that the people can hear, and make choices of their own about what they feel like they want to do.
Ah, yeah, that's a tough one, but it's real. You know, um, I don't know if you know this or not, or you probably do. District 8, where we live at, out of all of the districts in LA County in the city council, District 8, we still are holding first place in our homeless count. So, and what I'm saying is that out
Where's
of
District
LA
8?
County,
Can you explain to them the whole District 8? What?
sure. Well, District 8 is a part of LA County, but in the LA City Council, there's 15 different districts, and we are 8. District 8 kind of spreads from, let's say, 22nd Street all the way to Imperial. Actually, it goes a little bit further in Imperial. It goes a little bit more down into the southeast end of LA, which bags into District 15, which is like Watts. But it goes technically in a square, you would say Main to the east, and some part almost like Overhill La Brea to the west, and again like 22nd, to the north. But be that as it may, 947 zip code in particular is kind of like Manchester, Gramercy, Century, Vermont, Norm. In these areas, we're still housing the majority of the homelessness in District 8. 36% of the population in LA County are experiencing homelessness. But out of that 36%, black folks only make up 9%, 9 to 13% of our race. I'm just saying black people in LA County. And so to have the majority of the homelessness in our district, that is something to be concerned about. You know, we all voted in 2016 for a measure, HHH, and that was to increase the property tax, and so that we can build up all this money to address our homeless problem in LA City itself or LA County. And under Garcetti, we were supposed to have 10,000 units built by a certain time, but as of today, 6 years down the line, we are like right at 1,800, if that much. So we're way behind schedule, and our people are suffering. There's the ones that are already out there, and there's the ones that are coming, and they're soon to come because we haven't addressed this properly. So for me, I think your question was what are we going to do about this homelessness? We really got to pay attention to the politics. We really got to pay attention to what the folks are talking about they're going to do, but we know what hasn't been done. So we do have something to follow. So I'll just, leave that with that unless you have, something else you want to ask me.
Mm.
Because these are all my personal opinions, but this is all fact. I mean, anybody can research it, Google it, go to city council meetings, listen in on. I mean, this is not, Denise's story. This is the way it is. And it's very, very sad that this has come to where it is with this homeless count.
Hmm. Yeah, I do have another question. My next question, because I've been noticing that as far as the market is concerned for housing, buying houses, that it seems like history is trying to repeat itself because a lot of black people are being turned down from home loans.
Yeah, I know. I know. Uh, so your question is, are we being turned down for home loans
I mean, what
or
is, well, my question, I know you don't know why, I know you don't have the answers for, a lot of everything, but I know you got wisdom. And I'm saying, is there any advice that you can give to the community that can bring awareness to people on how to, you know, uh, keep the property that they do have, um, as far as, because it seems like it they're bought out with about $500,000, but their home ends up selling for like 1.5 million, and it just seems that everything in the Crenshaw district, it seems like the black community is suffering behind the fact that they have to hold on so tight. It's like we're in a storm and you just have to hold on so tight to your property because, the wind is blowing so fast, and it just seems like they don't want this community to thrive as a black community no more. And I'm saddened because even Lamert Park 10 years ago, they wanted to take that away. And the man who owns Lamert with the last name of Lamert, his family members, which was very smart, they got together and found the paperwork that he wrote and put in the living trust, which is very important to keep the property as Lamert. They cannot change it to some other village or whatever project they might have in mind for the city. They couldn't change it. And I think that that's very important for the people to know that they can put things like that in place to keep their families' legacy and their property.
yeah, generational wealth is important to us as in any other nationality, but in our community, yeah, we well, let's just say this: in LA County, we lost 159,000 people moved out of LA County. Not saying they were all black folks, but or from our community, but people are leaving. And in our particular case, we make investments in
Hey, you coming
houses
on?
and we hold on to them, and then someday we want to pull our investments out. That's a true fact. That's okay to do. But under some of these circumstances, of which I think you're kind of alluding to, is like this gentrification situation. Gentrification is not just all about race, it's about money. People getting the highest return on their money. Our community right now may be selling for 1 million, even on the southeast end of town, houses are 700,000. And it's still unaffordable to the average black person, especially in District 8, when the average person makes $39,000 a year. That is the average income in District 8, which is the lowest out of every district. So you can't qualify for a house that's $1 million. But for somebody who doesn't look like us, hey, Joe, for somebody who doesn't look like us, $1 million is easy. That's them making the highest return on their money, because in Santa Monica, the houses are 2 million. They're not even getting but half of the square footage that they would get here. So what I would say to that is our folks that have been here, that's been stable, and they may want to sell. There's a lot of avenues you can take where that money kind of stays within one generation, where you don't just have to go and just outright sell, put another type of listing agent on these properties, Hispanic or white. I don't really care which one it is, but we do have black real estate professionals here where we could figure out a way where that wealth stays within our community. I mean, that's a whole nother level of discussion, but it's important, and it does matter on how we're going to take the control that we do have, the little bit that we do have, especially in District 8 and District 10. We've lost a lot of real estate here. And I'm not just talking about single family. I'm talking about the urban league. It's gone. That doesn't belong to us anymore. The mall is now gone. That doesn't belong to us anymore. The real estate has gotten away, and that's because gatekeepers have not been keeping the gate. So, but you were talking about housing and things of that sort, but you know, it all goes together as far
Yes,
as
it
the.
does. Yes, absolutely. That was just, amazing the way you broke that down because, we need to be educated, and I know you do your homework. I hear Joe on the line. That's our
Yeah, I
surprise
see him.
guest. Where you
Hey,
at? Where you at? I don't see you. Where you at, Joe? I don't see him. I don't see him, Poetess. I don't see. Hey,
Good
hey,
morning. How are
baby
you?
face.
Something like that. I grew some facial hair.
hey, Joe.
Ah,
Good
that's my
morning. How are you?
family. That's why I love him. That's my baby. Joe, it's been a minute since you came and welcomed, us on. Welcomed us with your presence on testimony. This is just classic to have you here and show up. Surprise, Denise.
Yeah, I love it. We got the Congressman in the house. All right.
Yes.
That's good, Joe. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Oh,
me
yeah.
too. I'm proud of you. So, I guess now I want to talk about the injustice for just us, the injustice system for just us people that look like us. I need to talk about that with the people, and I want Joe, I want you to introduce yourself to the people who don't know who you are. I think you're they split the district now, so he's not running against Maxine Waters because they split the district, but he has a district. Is it 36?
36.
36. Yeah. 36.
36 now. That was some added district that they added, and that can you tell us what that area covers and Joe, what's been on your mind because I want to know too. I know Denise probably want to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the 36th congressional district consists of Ranchos Palos Verdes Estates, Lomita, Venice Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach, Manhattan Beach, Marina Del Rey, Santa Monica, West LA, Beverly Hills, El Segundo, West Torrance, and Lomita. I think my primary opponent is the major one is Ted Lieu, although I have a lot of smaller guys that are in this race, but we don't pay them too much
Right.
Well, Joe, I know you got some plans for the city because, I know that you have some great concerns, and and I want people to really know what your concerns are because a lot of people don't know. Basically because you're a Republican, they don't they kind of put a deaf ear to the
for.
whatever it is that needs to be said. But I strongly urge people to not look at the political party but look at the individual, whoever they are, and see what they have to say because you can't demonize one without the other because there's demons everywhere. So we need to really know what that person is all about. So I am so happy that you came so you can let them know whatever it is you're all about.
Yeah, well, right now, my main focus is on government spending. The government wastes so much tax dollars that it's ridiculous, and then they tax the United States citizen, and then after that, it would have to be crime, homelessness, infrastructure, improving our education, and rebuilding that relationship between the law enforcement and the communities.
Mm. And I'm gonna give it over to Denise because she got a bunch of stuff that she might want to ask you.
No, I want to say this though, Joe. We all put on these hats from the time we're young. We're Democrats. We're Democrat. I've been a Democrat all my life, still a Democrat. But in your particular case, when I met you, I just want to say this. Yes, you were on the Republican side, but you also grew up just like the rest of us here, and you left and you went to the Navy. But you are a baby from 104th and Normandy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good thing because see, you can still relate to what it is that we are still dealing with, even fast forward in 30 years. Let's just go from the riots time. And so people, automatically, like she said, like Tanji said, will get a deaf ear. Oh, Republican, I don't want to, oh, I'm over here, I'm a Democrat. But at the end of the day, if we're all talking about that we see and have the same issues, Republican or Democrat, these things are still wrong. When I met you, when you were running in the 43rd district, which is Maxine's district at the time, what I said to you is if you were to become, the congressional person over this district, can you help us get banks? Can you help us get the things, especially in our zip codes that we have been deprived of? We don't even have grocery stores and restaurants. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? So this is a part of the reason why I say to people, don't just get turned off with a person's, if they're a Republican or a Democrat, listen to what it is that they're saying. And especially, if it pertains in the area that we live in. We can't control every state nationally, which, congressional people, you guys are much on a higher level. But the things that come directly, that affect us directly, I just want to say again, then I'm saying it, I said it then, I'm saying it now. You had the same concerns, and I knew they were genuine because you came from where we were. Now you're just kind of spread out a little bit more South Bay area. You kind of run all the way up to a tip of Beverly Hills, from what I understand. I think the 36th district congressional district touches a little bit of Bev, but you are still in a part of that 62nd state assembly district, which still encumbers, a lot of us. And so we still need you is what I'm getting to. And anybody that lives in that area, you are to be considered because you do understand the things that are still missing here in, especially in South LA. I know where you at is not considered South LA, but yet and still, I just wanted to put that out there. I hate when people say, oh, I don't want to hear nothing he has to say or she has to say because they're a Republican, but you feel, you understand our same plight. It doesn't matter this hat that we put on. A lot of people don't know, Black folks, we were all Republicans before you understand, if I go back in history, it wasn't until the Kennedy days that I remember being a 60s baby that we all became this Democratic thing. But the California Democrats, they have let us down big time, as Black folks. They want to, everybody tries to attribute Republicans with white people and Democrats with Black people, but the Democrats have fell short with us. Big time in a lot of areas, even currently today, especially here in LA, especially in California. So anyway, I just hope it all works out for you. I'm proud of you. And anybody that's listening, just, don't have a deaf ear to this Republican thing, listen to the ideas, because we may have been misled ourselves. And you can just be an independent and consider yourself, I'm an independent, but listen to all the ideas before you just turn off on this, Div and Republican thing. But anyway, go ahead, Joe. I'm sorry. I know I get carried away because but go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Our community, South LA, has been ran by Democrats for over 63 years. And the only thing they tell us is we're trying to do this, we're trying to do that, with nothing substantive. That's really happening in our community. We do need better jobs. That's the problem with gentrification. That's the reason why people hate rebuilding. And when people come in and rebuild the communities, because there is no jobs for people to be able to stay there.
Right.
And I think that's sad. Like you said, we don't have restaurants. We have the highest volume of crime in South LA, and no one does anything about it. But I don't want to put the blame on any party. It's the people in the party that makes it hard for us. But we got to stop thinking that just because a person's saying that they're trying to do something, that they're actually doing stuff for us. I mean, they were supposed to bring $28 billion to the South LA community during COVID, and that money went to a lot of nonprofits, and it never saw the hands of the people who were supposed to be the beneficiaries of that money. So we got to start looking at those things. A lot of politicians, they have the same color as us, and so people automatically assume that they're fighting for us. But people in our community are poor. And these politicians are rich, and they didn't get rich before they got into office. They got rich while they're in office, pandering to us, making us think that they're doing something for us. And the reality is, I'm 36, and South LA was the hood when I was a kid, and it's still the hood. The only thing different is they started moving people out and building football stadiums, and we don't even reap the benefits of that because we don't own nothing in our communities. So, we just got to start really paying attention and asking ourselves, do these people really got our backs? Look at Mark Ridley Thomas. He's been in office for 30 years or 20 years or something. And now he's about to go to federal prison. And this is what we're seeing a lot of these days.
Exactly. La Jolla Marymount University just did this big study on race relations, since the riots in South LA. I mean, they literally just printed this thing a couple of days ago. And they were asking, do you think anything has changed since 1992? And, I had to think about it. I was like, Mark Ridley Thomas was the councilman of the 8th District in 1992. I think he went in office in 91. So he was there. And he's been there, like you said, 30 years. We kept elevating him up to different positions in California politics. And now here we are today, 30 years later, and he's in this type of trouble, but the trouble is warranted. I mean, you can look at this community and tell that everybody just lined their pockets and talked a whole lot of talk, and nothing has been done. And so here's an end result. And some people say, oh, well, you think he's really going to go to jail? Well, I'd say this. They have 20 federal indictments. All they need is one. So, I mean, that question answers itself. Is it warranted? Look at our community. Okay, look at our community. He's not the only one. You got that whole little machine, what they call themselves machine. When I was running against Marquise, when I ran against Marquise, that little tenure there, people say, oh, Miss, you got to be crazy to try to go up against the machine. Well, the machine, and in quotes, was Karen Bass, Herb Wesson, Mark Ridley Thomas, and Marquise, and but that machine has all the wheels and fell off of it now. Marquise is the last good on it. Herb is gone. Mark is in trouble. Karen is trying to be the mayor, which probably won't work. But and so you got Marquise there. So I used to always say that machine was nothing but an illusion. It was an illusion. It was because we allowed them to stay there as long as we did, and nothing ever got accomplished. I could go on and on and on about the condition that District 8 is in, and I don't know how savable it is at this point because it's gone on too long. Our LA City Council is about to be completely Hispanic. I have a problem with that. Not because I don't like Hispanic people, but because there's no representation there of us. You can't have a city this diverse and the whole city council is about to become Hispanic because current price is hanging on by the thread. The LA Times has endorsed this Hispanic woman against him, this morning. So, Mark is out, Herb is temporarily. So what does that leave us? You see what I'm saying? And so all of these gatekeepers, all of these people that we've allowed to stay there this long, they have done nothing to gatekeep this situation. And now they're holding on for dear life, but there was nothing left behind for us to even, try to mend back together. So, I mean, this is going to be interesting to see, how the last of the Black community, survives this whole situation that's in front of us, Anyway, that's a lot because I want to talk to you guys about this mayor race too, between Karen and Caruso. Yeah. Go ahead, Tanya. I know. I'm sorry.
I'm just listening because I'm learning. That's all.
Yeah.
So y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. Y'all got the whole, show the platform to, talk to the people, to talk to the people, and that's what we need. We need to talk.
Yeah, we do. I was with some people yesterday. It was like, we got to vote for Karen because she's a Black woman. We gotta. I love my sisters. I'll always push sisters for anything. I don't even know her personally, so I have nothing against her. I only can go by what I see. I only can go by what you associate yourself with, what you attach to. And, you kind of been this Black hand, this mother in the background with these guys, the Herbs and the Marks and the Marquises. I mean, it has been known of the relationship and the association there. So you can't disconnect yourself totally away from that and say, well, I'm going to come, I've been in Congress for 10 years and I'm going to fix the homeless as soon as I become the mayor. Well, here's a woman who's never wrote a homeless bill the whole time she was in Congress. I mean, so what were you doing when you were there? If it's that easy to get the federal government, right, Joe? I mean, you understand this Congress thing, right?
That's
So
what
how
I
can
was
you
thinking.
come? Yeah, how can you come and tell us now, when you become the mayor, you're going to get federal dollars? I mean, you've been in the federal government for 10 years and you didn't send $1 down here. You didn't know how to, these guys, they've all been friends, including Garcetti. You didn't have no impact on them to make them do right by this city. Garcetti has tore this whole city up. The homelessness is not just in the 8th district. I was at a friend's party, magazine launch or whatever it was a couple of weeks ago on Hollywood Boulevard. So I had to walk like maybe half a block to get inside the building. There's homeless all up and down the Hollywood streets. This man has destroyed this whole city and then wants to be given a gift to go be an ambassador in another country.
Well, he's trying to go to another country because he's been indicted. He's been indicted with the whole train scam, the MTA scam, what they were trying to build that train. So it was him, Mayor Butts, I think Marquise Harris Dawson, and a few other CEOs were indicted. So he's trying to get that ambassadorship because as an ambassador, you can't be indicted.
See, and I thought it was just the sexual harassment case with downtown LA with the, not him sexual harassing, but him being aware of one of his, deputies sexually harassing. That case is still alive and well. I didn't know about the MTA thing, but I'm not surprised. I'm also not surprised that Marquise has finally been engrossed in it because this is the way it was going to be anyway. This is what they all signed up for. And so now the last wheel has fallen off the machine. Now I know that too, but how does this affect us? What do we do? How do we move on, from something like this? It's just time to change the players. You have to. I mean, we don't have a choice. That whole MTA thing, I knew it was nothing but a joke. How they tore up Crenshaw, knocked all of those businesses out, wouldn't even give them a loan to survive. All of those Black businesses from Slauson, let's say all the way down to Vernon, they had to apply for loans and then they had to have tax returns. Well, how are you going to have tax returns if we've been closed for 3 years? You understand what I'm saying? That was a force out of our people. That was Marquise. That was Mark Ritchie Thomas. That is the Karens. That is the part of the 37th Congressional District, Crenshaw and Slauson. And so all of you people turned your head. And all of this stuff went down, and now we're supposed to give you a higher position. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's just heartbreaking to know that you look like us. You know who's suffering the most down here, and you don't care. It's obviously you don't care. Joe, it's horrible. Last thing I'm gonna say about Crenshaw, you got that EDD office there. It's been closed for 5 years. 5 years. The only employment development office in Los Angeles. The next one is out, like Huntington Park or something like that, right? This is the one where 5,000 people was coming through a month to either look for a job, get a resume, get their unemployment, whatever, find out about training, things like that, and it's shut down. Now, I understand it was a private owner and all of that, but I'm talking about the politics is strong enough to have bought that thing back open by now, so how are we going to get jobs in the community if the main office that we would rely on is not even available to us? It's become a homeless shelter.
Well, when I was running for Congress in that 2020 election, we were working with the aerospace industry, and we were actually getting people jobs throughout COVID at Raytheon, at Boeing, at all those little aerospace companies right there in Hawthorne. I think we got over 221 people from the South LA community hired. And, but we got to start using tax incentives to bring companies back to South LA and allow them, to hire people from the community. This is how it got to be. But,
right.
Everybody's thinking like that.
No, because 60% in District 8, 60% of the employment is mom and pops. There are companies that have 15 or less employees, right? That's 60%. And it's mostly in healthcare, we have nothing here where people can be proud to get up and go to work and where there's a company. You understand what I'm saying? That swap meet on Slauson and Western, the Slauson swap meet, everybody loves swap meet. I don't know why, but if I had became a councilwoman, that was going to be the first thing I was going to get rid of. You know why? They have made billions off of this community, billions, okay? And that space, we need that space where we can train, where we can, make people nurses, train them to be teachers, whatever. That space should be much more better utilized than what it's utilized for, because that money that is made in that mall is not recirculated back in our district. And they've gotten millions off of us for over 30 years.
The nail
know?
shops too.
She said it's the nail shops too. Okay, the nail shops too.
I'm not getting it now.
Right.
Nah,
what I'm
that's
saying,
all right. I'm just talking for the people. The nail shops too.
Yeah, but what he's saying is that we got to bring manufacturing, we got to bring distribution. We have to bring it back in here so that we can sustain. We have to leave. All our people are leaving LA because they can't afford to stay here anymore. You know what I'm saying? South LA was 84% Black, 84% Black in the early 80s. We're down into the 40s now.
No, you guys are actually like in the 20s.
See, we're down into the 20s now.
Yeah, the Hispanic community is in the 40s right now. You guys are in the 20s and the 30s.
And the number is getting higher or lower. And that's because they can't sustain themselves here. So somebody somewhere, we got to put a plug. We got to go, we got to stop the press. Got to slow this train down. It's moving too fast. But these guys, all these people that we've talked about already, they've been our biggest problem. I have never seen, even our older Black people, they have these allegiances. Oh, Mark is this. Oh, Marquise is smile. Oh, I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Can't you see what they're doing to us, what they've done to us?
Maxine too, huh? Because I love Maxine.
People get mad at you for talking about these people.
I love Maxine.
I
love Maxine, but I'm looking around my own community. I'm like, well, I mean, I would probably just stay neutral, because I don't know if I want to be Democrat or Republican, because I just want to make my own choice in the middle. Because I'm like, let me just deal with the individual, because I definitely don't feel nothing that I personally reap behind none of the people that's really in the office today. I think we do need a change, and a change means a change. We need a change of faces, change of people, no matter what side they're on. I think we need a change, period.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because see, these old guards, the Black political, let's just say this little circle that has been there to represent it. It's like a whole little clique of them, they stayed too long. They did no mentorship up under them, because one day you guys are going to get older. You gave nobody that looks like you. I'll never forget this. When Karen Bass went into Diane Watson's seat, she come marching up in First AME Church, and I'm sitting there years ago. She comes in, her and Diane come up on the stage, and we got an announcement to make. So Diane announces that she's giving her seat to Karen. She's endorsing Karen for her seat. Oh, okay. That's great. She's retiring. She brought a younger one in, right? So then Karen brings in her replacement. It's a young Latino guy. Karen was the first Black woman to be the, Speaker of the House, the Speaker of the Assembly, right? She's there 6 months. She's ambitious. She goes to Congress. But my problem is she has community coalition. She became, who she is off of the 92 riots. Okay. Yep. And then you make it to the Assembly. And then when you get graduated, at that time, yes, I was pissed that she gave it to a Hispanic person. I thought it should have been another Black woman, just as they put pressure on Newsom when Kamala goes to be the VP. They wanted Newsom to replace that seat with a Black woman. Am I correct? Karen and Kamala was at odds, and Barbara Lee, everybody wanted this seat, where Newsom just broke it down the middle and just gave it to a Hispanic guy, Padilla. I don't have no beef with Padilla. He is who he is. But my point is, when you have that type of power, you have to give back, because you are still representing the community that took you to where you are at right now. And I have seen none of that. I have seen none of that. And now they want us to go another step for them. And I don't see it. Now, I don't know that much about Caruso, but I know what we have been getting. Don't know what we'll get from him, but I know what we have been getting. And sometimes you got to, sometimes you just got to make changes like that. I'm hoping for the best. I don't know the man. I'm waiting to meet him. to really hear him come down in the community and talk to us, don't move around us. If he wins this primary, don't just stay down there and watch. You know what I'm saying? Because Watts is not Black anymore either. You understand me? There are some Black organizations, but he may not want to deal with the ones that's been represented. All these people that have these relationships, these allegiances with the Marks and the Herbs and the Karens and the Marquises. I mean, that may not be the route to go either. He's got to get some new folks that's got to step up and say, hey, look, these were our ideas that never got acknowledged why these people were in charge.
And education, I believe, is not to cut you off. I think education fits right in that puzzle. And I know that you are real big on education, Joe Collins. I know that you won't nothing more than to educate the community and get people to understand the business of economically how they can get ahead. I know that you build programs, and I know that you have strategy put in place for the school districts to follow. That's so important to me, because right now I'm hearing that the kids in our district, the 8th district where we live and grew up at, and the greater community of LA, are not even writing cursive anymore. And that saddens me, because they need to write cursive. And they shouldn't take anything like that away from the kids, because they need to learn cursive writing. And that's something that the people need to know, that we will focus on our educational system in our community, because that's our future and that's our kids' future. And don't just change because you have other people that don't look like us coming over here, but change because everybody needs the fair educational skills that everybody else is offered in Santa Monica and in Bel Air and all these other places, with the parents, with all this money that's just not going to have their kids literally going to school to learn, the minimum of nothing. But they're sending their kids to school in a public setting, and they're getting private educations.
Yeah, education in our community is extremely poor. And I've actually paid to have a 3D virtual model of the type of schools that I wanted to have built, within our communities to make our schools competitive, to put trades back in schools, to put financial literacy, period, back in schools. And financial literacy, not just for children, but for adults. I mean, that's one of the biggest issues that we face. Everybody talks about building that wealth or that generational wealth, but nobody even knows how to balance a checkbook. So I think financial literacy, it has to be put back into our community. We have to have programs. And I've been a part of an organization to where they teach financial literacy. They teach you how to, have an estate or, build a trust or put your money in financial vehicles. And I'm not talking about Bitcoin. I'm talking about long-term financial solutions like FFIULs or annuities, things that, wealthy people actually use in order to protect their monies, especially when it comes to taxes. So, those are a few things that I wanted to do that I have been doing for the community. If people wanted to get involved, however, the dichotomy of our community is not as such. But I think it will be important, especially for the next group of representatives that are coming through South LA, to take these issues seriously.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There's quite a few school board, LA Unified School Board district seats that's on the ballot too for June the 7th. All Hispanic people are running for these offices. Yeah, I'm not mad at them. They're smart. See, they were able to capitalize on where we were falling short at. Where we, when I say we, I'm not necessarily talking about me or you, Joe, because we know. But I'm saying my problem is, if you look at everything down the ballot, from city controller that's on the ballot, all these district of the super LA County Board of Supervisors, there's 2 districts coming up because people are retiring. Holly's got second, but there's other 2. And then you got city attorney, you got all the way down the line, all of these important positions that really run a government in a state. There are no Black people listed except for Tina and Robert, who are running for the 62nd district. Karen, of course, is running for mayor. But my point is, LA Unified just got a new superintendent who's Hispanic. All these other offices are, and let me tell you how it works for them, and it worked against us. It worked against us before they even thought about running for these seats, because you got people who look like us, who in the Democratic Party refuse to groom and push people out of this circle. You understand what I'm saying? So it was never available, because if they don't say it's okay for you to have a seat, then you don't get a seat. But what happens when all you guys play out y'all seat? Then what happens? Nobody cared about that, obviously, because there should be more than Tina and Robert Pullins on a ballot for, like a assembly seat. You got Sidney Collimeyer and Jan fighting over the 37th district, not fighting over, but they're in a race for that, right? But these are all people, except for Tina and Robert, who've just recycled. They're recycled politicians. That's what I call them. They just move from seat to seat to seat. But you got all these younger Hispanics and people who are running for all these different seats. And that's because they shared the wealth, shared the information. Not saying that they didn't have to put work in a campaign, but what I am saying that it was like open door. Hey, if you want to come on in, come on in. Whereas Black politics has not, been done the same, which is why we're lacking so much in our own community. There are people to blame. We should have never lost the Urban League. The Urban League, everybody knows the Urban League. You got out of high school, you go to the Urban League on Vernon and Crenshaw, and you find out what you're going to do next. That real estate should have never left us. That mall should have never have left us. These are the people who have lined their own pockets.
Ralphs shouldn't have never left us.
Oh, we want to talk about Ralph's. I mean, even the Ralph's on Crenshaw's Plaza. I mean, like, Ralph's is not like it was a grocery store. Those seniors on that corner that live in those Blake's buildings next door, now where do they go get their food?
The mail. We have no mailmen in the city of Los Angeles. The mailmen are scarce. They've all quit, and people aren't getting their mail. So the lines are all the way out the door because they have to come to different locations to pick up mail. We have no post offices. We don't even have B of A's anymore. You gotta find the B of A that's open, and your money might be in the bank, but you might have to go miles to get it.
And that's exactly true. And that's where we go into Maxine. Now here, she's the chairwoman of the Banking and Finance Committee in DC right now. And, she was a little, upset with me when I, supported you the first time, Joe. And I had to ask her.
Upset with everybody.
Yeah. And when she called me to ask me, why would I get behind you? I skipped the subject too. Why not? I mean, at least we might can get, I said, how is it, Maxine, that you're the chairwoman of this Banking and Finance Committee in DC, and we don't have no damn banks in South LA? How is that possible? You understand what I'm saying? I mean, they're closing them every day. Bank of America should have never been allowed to just walk out on us like that with no replacement.
Amen.
No nothing.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? The one on 88th and Western, all of those seniors who were getting direct deposit right there on 88th and Western, who have that stable neighborhood still in that Manchester area. Where are these people going down to the bank when they need a money order because they're old school? They're not online paying bills. I mean, none of this stuff was thought about. And people still put Marquise back in office. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I didn't know about what really went. I didn't even have the money. I'm just a regular person from the community that is tired of us being treated the way that we have been treated. Sometimes you got to take a bigger platform and get people to listen to you and try to draw some attention to it.
Amen.
But when I saw that, he won with like 30,000 votes, I'm like, are you guys like serious? When you walk outside every day, you still like what you see? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, what are you guys doing? But it is what it is.
Do you see something I ain't seeing, or do you live here?
I mean, like, do you guys live here? Like, this is all of his fault. That
people have this undying loyalty to these people, and I told them and people think that I ran against Maxine Waters and I got all this money from Trump, but that wasn't even the case. Like, we worked for that money, the donations that people gave us by doing the things that we did in the community. But I told people Maxine Waters was trash. I got involved in that race because I was a homeless veteran. I was going to her office for help, and she didn't help me. I ended up having to file a lawsuit. And it was Trump that pulled me to Washington, D.C., and his guys were showing me how to, raise money, how to campaign. And I came back with that information, and they told me, run against somebody where you're from. I'm like, cool, I run against Maxine Waters because she isn't helping any veterans. She'd rather give somebody an award at a high school instead of giving us our benefits or helping us get those benefits. And she's supposed to be Black. Her campaign slogan was, I'm fighting for all of us. I guess I wasn't included in that all of us, and neither was any man in South LA included in that all of us, because we get treated like trash every single day unless you're kissing somebody's ass, and I know a lot of men don't want to kiss anybody's ass except for their wives. But not only did I tell the community she was trash, I did a video in front of her big ass mansion out there around the corner from Mayor Garcetti's house. And I showed the difference between her mansion and how we are in the community. She don't have homeless people in her community. She don't have gun violence and gang members running up, through her community. But that's what we live with every day. It's not even helicopters that go there. People, you got these people running on the streets with their damn strollers, living their best life. But we're struggling listening to rappers talk about, quote unquote, that life. It's like, it's not cute. It gotta end. At some point, we gotta think, we really deserve better than what we've been getting. And you can't get better by voting for the person who's responsible for your life being how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There it is there.
Well,
that's it right
that's
there.
the show in
Absolutely.
one. Let me tell you, I'm on God's side. God just gave me this situation so that you guys can hear from people who are knowledgeable, people who have concerns and questions that you probably have, that you want to, you want to know, you want to hear what the answers of other people's opinions are. And this is why we do, because it starts right here, that we need to be educated about what's going on. And I want to thank God. I want to thank God for you guys just coming on and just pouring your hearts out and letting us know just straight up, what's going on, who you are, where you stand at, because voting is very important, and we really need to know what we're voting for, who we're voting for, and it has nothing to do with, because I'm gonna vote for you because you Black. It has nothing to do with that. We really have to search and soul search, and we really have to pray on the decisions that we make. And prayer is key. Pray on the decisions, and God will direct you, and he'll tell you exactly, he'll give you that discernment of who you need to deal with. And don't just be compelled to deal with one political party, but consider both. Because we all in this game together, and it's not a game. That's the problem. We're all in this together. Let me just put it like that. And so everybody's affected by every decision, whether you're blue or red, Black or blue, Republican or the Democrat, Christian or Muslim, Asian or Hispanic. Listen, we all need to think about everybody at the same time. But most of all, we need to save our Blacks in our Black community. And not just the community, but our Blacks also in the Black community. We need help. And this is a cry out to our city councilmen. And this is a cry out to our congressmen, because we need their help. And we need to stop just going with the greater opinion, and find out what's your own opinion. Find out what you want to see when you step out your house. Just go by that, and let God lead you. And I hate that this has been such a short hour, but I think that we've said a whole lot, and I think it's worth more than money, what we've heard from Denise Woods and Joe Collins III today. I think that it is just amazing how God put that together to bring us all together to just say what we had to say. So, to God be the glory, and I always told y'all I want to leave you with, beloved, my sisters and brothers, I wish nothing more than that you prosper and be in good health. In Jesus' name, I pray. And to God be the glory. I'll see you guys later. Denise and Joe, I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Ciao.
Right, y'all. See you guys. Right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.